Hi tribe, Gabelen here. On this beautiful summer afternoon, I'm sitting on my porch with my pup enjoying this humid weather. It's delicious. And I've wanted to do this video for about 2 weeks now. And I've been putting it off just because there's quite a bit of content and quite a few things that I just really wanted to meditate on and do some journaling with before talking about them on video for all to see. So this video, guys, is a kind of celebration and also anchoring, because as some of you may know, I hit Elite this month, which was extremely exciting. It was a lot of fun and it was a lot of work, and I really want to honor what the process leading up to that was, and kind of just jive and discuss some of the lessons that came during the process of hitting that rank. And let me tell you, it's been a process, not always easy, not always necessarily, I think it was always enjoyable, but it wasn't always joyful. If that's a distinction that makes sense to some of you. And along the way, there were lots of obstacles, quite a few stumbling blocks, all really epic lessons. So I'm just going to go through, I made a list of like some of my lessons and observations that I've compiled over the past couple months. The first thing I will say is Jen Wendy, who I love so much and who's a dear friend and mentor, said to me a couple months ago, she had heard this quote on a call, and she said, "I thought of you right away and I had to call you." And that quote was, "If you treat doTERRA as a hobby, it will cost you like a hobby. If you treat doTERRA like a business, it will pay you like a business." And at the time, that really resonated with me, but I don't think I actually really understood what treating doTERRA like a business meant for me until July happened and that BOGO came out. Because to be quite honest, it really was BOGO week that propelled me into a situation where my OV was important enough, and my own motivation was important enough to actually get me to that rank advancement. So that's the first thing. That's I maybe one of you can comment on the video and let us know who said that incredibly brilliant quote. But I think that's one of the most important lessons to retain, is if you are enjoying doTERRA, using the oils and doing, a couple hours here and there, absolutely, you're going to eventually maybe hit rank, you're going to get some free products, but it will cost you money like a hobby, and you won't actually see interesting returns until you get really serious about what your strategies and systems are going to be for your business. So with that, my first lesson is the time commitment and financial investment for your business is going to be unique to each person. And that was a hard lesson for me, because I was really, the first couple months I did doTERRA, I was watching videos, I was reading the share and build guides, I was, really, I was really focusing on the information, the general information about how long it would take for me to rank advance. And I think it's really important to not only know, but to be okay with the fact that each person is going to rank advance and is going to hit their numbers and is going to hit their volume in a different time. Something that may take me 6 months to a year might take 3 months for someone else, might take 3 years for someone else, and that's okay. I think it's really important to honor our own way of building and our own way of approaching how we want this business to play a role in our financial life. You know, and again, this comes down to, you have a full-time job where you're working 40 hours a week and you're only able to give an hour or 2 hours here and there to doTERRA, then it's completely natural that it's maybe taking longer for you to rank advance. Don't sweat it. We're all doing this in our own time. We're all honoring our own commitments and the way it makes most sense in our life, and that's really okay. So all that to say, if you're really depending on an information, any sort of guide or anyone else's journey, in terms of how long it will take you to hit rank or to get to a certain place in your career, just keep in mind that as much as you may want to follow or emulate certain people that you look up to, you need to give yourself the space to actually build in a way that makes sense to you. A side note to that, I've had some feedback from people in our network lately, a conversation in particular where one of the builders said to me, I just thought it was supposed to be easier than this. She's someone who's coming up against some obstacles, and her team isn't necessarily buying in for the volume she would like, and things that we all deal with. And I just think it's really important to make a distinction in the wording we use between simple and easy. doTERRA as a business and as a business model is extremely simple. It's as simple as there is in terms of MLM, but make no mistake, the work we're doing is by no means easy at all. We are challenging people's notions of what their responsibility is in their lives towards their own health and well-being, and how much they are responsible. That's never going to be easy. Simple, yes. Easy, not so much. The second thing, I truly believe the foundation and success of MLM structure is on connection. What I mean by this is that people do not want to buy a product. Now, don't get me wrong. doTERRA, as far as products go, there's none better. And I really believe that with every fiber of my being. But the people I am speaking to, again, this is all in my experience, they're not specifically looking to purchase a product in particular. What they are looking to purchase is the experience that I am able to express. So, it isn't necessarily, yes, social media and beautiful pictures and really great marketing. Those are all super important aspects of us building our business. But I really truly believe that the most important thing is the connection we make with the people we want to add to our organization. That means you need to be doing classes and one-on-ones. And if you are able to communicate your passion and excitement via phone, via video, that's amazing. You have to find your way of sharing, your authentic way of sharing, but it has to be you, and it has to be a vehicle that allows you to communicate your passion and your belief and your faith in these products. And that's what's going to get people on board. That's what's going to get people enrolled. Yes. Another note there that I just wrote so that I wouldn't forget to mention it is that sometimes along the way, people that you care about, your friends, your family, are going to come along and they're going to say, you know what, I don't know too much about essential oils, but I want to support you. So yeah, order me the BOGO. That must have happened 4 or 5 times during BOGO week in July. And I think that's absolutely beautiful and a completely valid reason for people to order essential oils. And if it means that they are going to be in contact with these oils simply because they quote unquote want to help you with your project or help you with your company or business, great. Order them the oils and let them fall in love with the oils and the knowledge that you have to give them afterwards as well. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I think that's a super beautiful and valid reason for people to order oils, wanting to support you. So as far as I'm concerned, any reason to get the oils is good. Point number 3, this goes for everyone, no matter what rank you're at. I really believe this. Make oil education and experience a priority in your own life. I don't think this needs much explanation more than that. You cannot communicate the importance of a product if you have not physically and tangibly experienced the benefits that it can have for your life. Get curious, and don't just learn about the oils that you love. I think that's a great starting point, absolutely. But, if I was only learning about the oils I love, I would know everything about Siberian fir and cypress and nothing about any of the other oils that over the past months I've actually learned to fall in love with because I've been curious about the oils that I'm not necessarily attracted to. On another note, yeah, and this is something that's come up as well. There is such thing within your pipe structure, okay? For the people who are using the pipes business model to work on their productivity, there is such thing as intentional pipe structure and like time suck pipe structure. I think we all know this. I think everyone pretty much knows when they're procrastinating or maybe working on something because they're kind of avoiding something else. I have no judgment about that. That's fine. Your oil education, for example. It's one thing on your downtime to enjoy learning about the oils and testing oils on yourself. I think that's super important. It's quite another to focus on specific oils without thinking about the bigger picture of what you should be learning about. So I'll give you a perfect example. I gave a small group EO intro class a couple weeks ago, and like 3 out of the 5 people who were there were pregnant women, right? There are certain oils or practices that I don't need to waste my time talking about because those pregnant women, the people I'm trying to get curious or foster curiosity with, I'm not going to talk to them about peppermint oil. I'm not going to talk to them about taking oils internally. There are a bunch of things that they have to avoid for at least the next 6 to 9 months anyways. So this is a perfect example of a time when we can actually choose what we focus our oil education on for specific populations that we're trying to reach out to. Okay, a few more points. Point number 4. As uncomfortable as it is a non-negotiable to do mindset reframing work. Whatever your block is, whatever your trauma is, whatever your, we all have them. That's what life is all about. It's about experience, embodied experience, somatic memory, and we all have triggers. MLM work and entrepreneurial work in general are breeding grounds for discomfort, growth, and having to face your own blocks, because the truth of the matter is, in this particular format, the only person who dictates how far you go is yourself. So if you have a bunch of like weird scarcity or money gremlins, then they are going to pop up every single time a question of investment comes into play. And it's going to come up a lot because look even just at the structure of the 100 PV monthly that you need to maintain in order to actually be able to accumulate AR credit. You're not always going to have people who are going to want to order oils to cover your 100 PV. Some months you're going to have to fork out that entire PV yourself. And some months it's going to be tighter and it's going to be uncomfortable. So unless you are willing to do that mindset reframe work, whether it be tapping, journaling, working with a therapist, working with a mindset coach, any number of tools that you can use, unless you're willing to do that, then you are going to come up against those blocks continually throughout the entire time you are trying to build this business. It was something that I had to work on, and that was absolutely integral to me being able to actually make the leap to elite, was to actually go in and really look some of those past narratives in the face and dismantle them, because otherwise I would not have been able to accept my team's help, to invest the time and the money to get where I am, or to keep up that 100 PV a month during 7 months. It would not have been possible without that work. So non-negotiable, do the work. Number 5, honor your experience and expertise. This is huge. I think for a lot of new builders who are new to the essential oils world, to the MLM format, there's this kind of like imposter syndrome that creeps up, and we have these kind of like little whispers that say like, you don't know what you're talking about, you're just as new to this as they are, who are you to give oil education, etc., etc., etc. You are an expert with extraordinary tools, gifts, and talents to offer because you have lived your entire life up until this day. It is not because you worked 20 years in a corporate job setting, or because you're a stay-at-home mom, or because etc., 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 that your everyday life is not valid experience for what we're trying to share here. So, one exercise that I did for myself when some of these kind of the imposter gremlins were coming up is I sat down and I wrote out by hand as much experience and as many things as I knew I was good at on sheets of paper. And I just did it as like a free flow writing. I just like wrote out and little things. I wrote out great at folding laundry, great at taking care of the dog, good at organizing my closet. Like I literally wrote every single thing that I could think of that had, some of them had to do with oils, most of them did not. And then after having done that, I stepped away from those pages and came back at a later time, obviously with some oils on me to help with the aromatherapy. And I actually just took a big red marker and I circled the things that I thought would eventually, if not immediately, at some point in this journey, help me. And honestly, it's a pretty impressive spreadsheet of talents, expertise, and experience that I now understand are all going to help me while I develop this. And they're not all related to oils. In fact, most of them aren't. Most of them are just straight up life experience and surviving every single day to the best of my ability. So do that exercise and honor where you're at. Honor everything, every single day. Yeah. Number 6, do your homework. If someone has a question that you don't know the answer to, don't BS them. Just say, you know what, that's a great question. Let me find out and get back to you. It's as simple as that. Number 7. Stop saying. In fact, I think we should actually just abolish this from our collective essential vocabulary. Stop saying, I don't want to be a burden, or I don't want to be salesy. Okay, can we stop? Can we choose together to stop? Listen, the first thing is the world, our world economy is based on trades and sales. I mean, everything is sales. Every single interaction we have, the fact that I am able to speak to you today is based on a lifetime of sales. I bought this Samsung. I bought this cute dress that I'm wearing. I bought this house and this property that I live on. every single interaction we have is some sort of sale. It is some sort of trade, whether it be energy, time, money, a service. So, yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking at my notes, but I really want to be clear about the fact that, this kind of idea that we have about being salesy or being a burden or being pushy about the sales, I really think it's this excuse, this word that we use to actually mask a bunch of other discomfort that we have. Listen, if by trying to share an all-natural, organic, fair trade solution with my friends and family and my network is being salesy, then sign me up. I'm here for it, and I'm here to be salesy. Stop. Remove it. Remove that thought from your mind. You're not being salesy. You're not being pushy. You are talking about something you believe in. So let's just stick with that.